Hey friends, welcome back to Exalt Talks. It is Wednesday, February 16th, probably. If it's not, then I don't know, leave me a nasty comment in the comment sections. I'll read it and I'll reply with something equally as snarky. I started off this year with the desire to be a better storyteller. It's partly what I guess led to like doing these videos with Exalt Talks. And honestly, obviously the structure of just me, camera, and a box with like a completely black background and being in black and white just super simplifies like this whole like creative process for me. But I do want to build upon it, and every now and then, every chance or opportunity I get, I've done some stuff to like add to this, and it's like quintessential, element. It's just me talking, and I understand that because it's just me talking and there's not a lot of extra, it kind of reduces the quality, I guess, of this video and my storytelling to just like having to be a really good and really compelling story. And oftentimes it's not that. I'll be the first to admit that it's not oftentimes a very compelling story that like makes you want to like watch and listen through like the whole thing. But there is something that I wanted to share with you out of that, in case you're wondering how to be a better storyteller. Obviously, just me saying this from my perspective, it's, I suppose, somewhat theoretical, but I think there's a lot of truth to like how to become a better storyteller, even though I obviously have not figured it out or mastered the art of storytelling myself. But I do want to get better and I want to practice. And so this is me practicing in a really boiled down fashion. And so that being said, I want to tell you a story about potentially how to tell better stories. And first I want to contextualize that. If it took me a long time to like learn this and understand how this applies, but like everybody has a story to tell. And what I mean by that is like, not that everybody has a story that everybody wants to listen to, but everybody at some point in time in their life has to tell a story. They have to tell a story to a potential like job that they're interviewing for, and like tell their career story, or somebody that you're dating, you're telling your story, or maybe some of you have had to tell your story to a police officer, like on the side of the road, and explain to them why you were speeding or why you were drinking too much or something of that nature. Either way, we all have to tell stories to people all of the time. And so telling good stories and better stories and genuine, true good stories, or compelling, entertaining stories is a part of what we do as human beings. And so here's a story that's fundamentally fictional, but I think has its roots based in some amount of truth. Back, again, 500 years or so ago, there was an architect. His name was Christopher Wren. I know nothing about him. Don't ask me any questions about him. He was an architect, and there was this story that kind of surrounds him. It's the story of like the three bricklayers. If you haven't heard it, here it is. So there's an architect in London, and he was tasked with rebuilding a cathedral. And he went outside and he saw three bricklayers, and he walked up to one and asked him what he was doing. And that bricklayer said, "I'm a bricklayer, I'm working very hard, and I'd like to feed my family and take care of them with this job that I have." And then he asked the second bricklayer, "What are you doing?" And the second one said, "I'm a builder. I'm building this great wall with my bricks." And he walked up to the third bricklayer, and the third bricklayer said, "I'm building a cathedral." And there's something just powerful in that last moment when he said, "I'm building a cathedral." And that short, like 30-second story is just like elicits such I don't know, something in your soul where you're just like, well, the first guy was wrong, and the second guy was wrong, and the third guy was inspired. Or the first guy told a bad story, and the second guy told an okay story, and the third person told a great story. Like, I don't know what it is about that super simple like soliloquy, I guess, if I can use that word, or if that's the appropriate word to use. But I want to be the third person in all that I do. I want to tell like really good stories. I want to tell my story accurately, but not just accurately, because the first person was also accurate. He was building, he was applying bricks to the building that he was building. But his main motivation was something that's not compelling, even though it's super noble that he was laying bricks and was thankful for his job to take care of his family. But the third person is where the engagement happens, where you can like inspire and paint a vision and create engagement and even attract into you as a person when you can, I guess, communicate in such a way that like makes people want to support you. That's a level of communicating and storytelling that I have not even come close to, and it's something that I want to do, because even in these Exalt Talks, sometimes the stories that I just tell are the first one where it's like, hey, this is what I'm doing right now in its most fundamental space. But I want to get to the third point where in the stories that I tell, it's not just what I'm doing, but it helps you engage and want to support in the vision that I see. So that's it. That's my story. Hope you enjoyed it. Next time. Ready?